Have you ever wondered how Chime, Skybreaks, Sharks make these some sort of liquid texture sounds? In this video, I'm gonna show you how I make it. Stick around till the end of the video and let's get started. First, load up a synth. I use Ableton stock operator. You can use any synth that you like and set the wavetable to sine wave. Next up, load up a MIDI effects, chord, and arpeggiator. Place the chord before the arpeggiator and duplicate it 2 times. I'm turning off this arpeggiator for now, and let's head over to the chord MIDI effects. The knobs corresponds to a note on the keyboard. It's adding a note relative to the keys that you played. To make a basic minor triads, set this one to 3 semitones and this one to 7 semitones. But for this type of sounds, you need more than just a triads. So make it complex by adding 9th, 11th, or any note in the scales that sounds good to you. I added 10, 12, and 14. If you don't know a chord theory, you can copy these settings. Next, let's head over to these 2 chord MIDI effects. For this one, you only have to set it to 12 semitones, and it will sound like this. And set this one 12 semitones again, and it sounded like this. So this is basically stacking the first chord MIDI effects an octave higher, and doubling it down, so these 2 are stacking on top of it. So now you'll have a chord stack that sounded like this. If this is somehow doesn't make sense, or you don't have this type of MIDI effect stuff, you can do it manually like this. First, select the root keys. I use D2, then make a chord. In this case, I use chord MIDI effects as a guide. So 3 semitones, 7, 10, 12, and 14. So now you have to count that number. So duplicate 1, 2, 3, duplicate it again, 4, 5, 6, 7, duplicate it again, 8, 9, 10, duplicate it again, 11, 12, duplicate it again, 13, 14. Now I select it all, duplicate it, and shift it up an octave by pressing shift arrow up in Ableton. So now you'll have this, select it all, and shift it up one more time. So now you'll have this. It should spread across like this. But I'm going to stick around with these chord MIDI effects. Once you have a chord that sounded good, let's head over to the arpeggiator. Set the speed however you like it, sync mode or free mode. For this one, I use sync mode and set the rate to 132. Now click on the style. By default, it was in up, but I choose random once, so it won't play a note twice. But if you don't mind with it, you can choose random or random other. Now choose a note retrigger, so it retriggered when a new note played. And set the repeats to 1, so it will only play the arpeggio once. Now you'll have this sound. But it doesn't sound like a liquid yet. So now let's move on to the post-processing. Add a phaser and play around with these 3 knobs and center frequencies. It sounded the best when the feedback is above 50%. I find it that it sounds liquid enough in this position, so feel free to copy it. I also dialed down the dry and wet just a little bit. Next is vocoder. Turn on the enhance. Set the carrier to modulator. The bands at 40. Foreman around here. Turn down the release a little bit. And dial down the dry and wet. Next is disperser. Pretty basic. Just find the sweet spot by changing the frequencies. And play around with the amount and pinch. Next is OTT, just for some compression and loudness. I set the time all the way up to a 1000 and turn down the amount just a little bit. Next is Valhalla reverb. You can use any reverb. And last is EQ, just cutting out the unnecessary low end. With all that, you are basically done with the sound. You can add more effects and experiment with it, but this is basically it. Now you know how to make this liquid texture sound. If you find this video helpful, please leave a like and subscribe to help support the channel. If you have any question, leave in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day.